Sales here at Dynacomp. I'm joined here today by Joe Fantozzi, who is a Senior Solutions Specialist here at Dynacomp. I'm also joined by our business partner, Logicbroker, and joining us today from Logicbroker is George Udifer, who is the Director of Sales, as well as Rebecca Kalin, who is the Marketing Coordinator for Logicbroker. If at any time during the presentation you would like to ask a question, please feel free to type your question in the lower right-hand corner of the GoToMeeting. We will try to get to all of your questions at the end of the presentation. For those questions which we can't get to, we will follow up via email, or please feel free to reach out to us. So here is what's on the agenda for today. First, we'll give you a high-level overview of who Dynacomp is, and then we'll discuss what exactly is order management as it relates to Magento. Next, we'll take a look at EDI, or electronic data interchange. What is it? What does it look like? And what can it do for your business? We'll also take a look at how you leverage the strengths of various platforms that power your business to do EDI and Dropship and to streamline the order procurement process. Then we'll jump right into a live demo to walk you through the process. We'll also walk you through the Dropship order lifecycle from the beginning to the end. There will also be a Q&A before we close, so once again, please submit your questions freely, and we'll do our best to answer those questions if time permits. It's worth noting that Logicbroker is offering today's attendees a complimentary personalized demo and ROI analysis based on your specific business requirements with one of their tech analysts, as well as 30 days of free EDI service. So just a little bit about Dynacomp. We are a Magento Gold industry partner, and we have helped small and medium-sized businesses automate their order management processes for over 20 years. We have over 2,000 customers who collectively generate roughly $2.6 billion in annual sales. And you can see on the right-hand side just a few of the Magento customers who we have worked with and helped automate their order management needs. When we speak about order management to prospects and to customers, we can ask 20 different prospects or customers, what order management means to them, and we get 20 different answers. Order management to a potential client or to existing customers, how they process their orders. We all know Magento does has a great e-commerce platform. Its open architecture allows for a lot of flexibility when designing an e-commerce site, and there are a lot of things that Magento does really well. So if you look at the left-hand side of the slide, you can see where Magento's strengths are. They do a great job of providing an exceptional shopping experience on the front end for your customers, but what about the back end and your experience once the order is placed? It's often said that nothing happens until an order is placed, and we certainly believe that, and I guess a lot of you guys believe that as well. So let's look at the right-hand side of the screen. Here are some of the questions as it relates to order management that each of you should be asking yourself, which we feel are very important. What if I'm selling or want to sell across multiple channels? How would I, or how do I for that matter, keep track of inventory levels across multiple channels or warehouses? What if I have inventory at a dropshipper? What happens if I'm out of stock on a particular item? How do I handle returns and customer information as it relates to orders and returns? And how do I know who my best customers are or which products that I'm selling are the most profitable? And how do I get data into my accounting system? What are my pick, pack, and ship procedures? And how do I know the proper products are being shipped to my customers? All those are questions that are really on the right-hand side of the slide and where order management comes into place. And lastly, and one of the most important questions to ask is, how do I keep my front end, your Magento e-commerce platform, and the back end, your order management system, up to date? And that is kind of at the blue area or the middle of your screen where our partner Logicbroker comes into play. In a few minutes, we'll give you a sneak peek of our OMS solution But this slide shows some of the capabilities you should be seeking in an OMS system that would allow you to grow and provide an even more exceptional experience on both the front end and the back end. When it comes to inventory management, you want to be able to track inventory across multiple warehouses, and even if you have a single warehouse, you want to be able to track your inventory by the bin or lot location. You want to be able to ship your inventory based on closest warehouse location that's being housed, which will lower your shipping cost. When it comes to inventory procurement, you want to know what your low-level reorder points are, your lead time for your suppliers, so you can make sure that you're never out of stock. And when it comes to fulfillment, you want to make sure you're providing detailed pick tickets so the correct items are being picked and shipped to your customer. You also want to keep track of who is ordering what products in order to provide an exceptional customer experience. If a return is requested and you want to provide that experience regardless of what channel or what customer you're working with. So Dynacom currently has two solutions. One, we have an on-premise solution, which is called M.O.M, and we have a SaaS-based cloud solution, which we're currently in beta. Our M.O.M product we have over 2,000 customers using it. It's an on-premise, so it would be hosted at your site. It connects to the Magento site. It's PCI Compliant, and it tracks the orders, the inventories, and all the customer information. Our Freestyle product, which will be commercially launched in Q1 of 2014, is going to be a cloud-based solution which will be exclusively for Magento. It will also track your orders coming in from Magento. We'll have similar functionalities. That product's beta. We are looking for additional beta customers, so if any of you are looking to kind of test drive a solution that's SaaS-based, please feel free to reach out to us and we can discuss that further. But now what I would like to do is to turn this over to Logicbroker, our business partner, so they can walk you through what they do and their background. So, Mike.
Great, and thank you, Mark. And this is George Schudorfer with Logicbroker, Director of Sales. And as Mark mentioned, I'm joined by Rebecca Kalin here on my team. And I just want to underscore a point that Mark had just made about, user experience, very important on the front end. Magento is certainly best of breed, but oftentimes the back end does get neglected, and you need to have a solid foundation. A platform like M.O.M's been around for a long time. It's a proven system around order management. And what we do in Logicbroker is we complement M.O.M and Magento to bring out the best of both systems by leveraging the strengths but with a seamless connection. So what we'll do is we'll walk through a little bit more about Logicbroker, our approach, and I'll turn it over to Rebecca.
Thank you, George. Since 2010, Logicbroker Incorporated has delivered Logicbroker, the most complete e-commerce platform available. Logicbroker is a cloud-based integration hub that connects the fragmented systems your business relies on and automates the exchange of everything from inventory and purchase orders to tracking information and invoices. With Logicbroker, you can reduce your cost per transaction and effortlessly exchange procurement information electronically with your website, ERP, suppliers, and EDI trading partners, empowering you to seamlessly add thousands of product offerings to process more orders faster and more efficiently, and to optimize your supply chain for success.
So over 150,000 companies choose Magento as their e-commerce platform. We talked a little bit about the flexibility, the scalability of the open architecture. Since 2008, customers have trusted Magento to control and customize the look and feel, the content, and the functionality of their online stores. Today, many of you know Magento is owned and backed by eBay and boasts a global community of partners and developers to give their users access to robust third-party extensions. Just like Dynacom, we are a Magento industry partner and have a deep experience with integrating Magento through EDI, XML, and through the Magento API.
EDI, or Electronic Data Interchange, is the structured transmission of data between organizations by electronic means. Today, EDI has become a pivotal part of businesses. EDI has come a long way since the days of telex to tape messages, as the process of today boasts complete automation and speeds up the process of data exchange. In the fast-paced information age that we live in today, these small portions of time save valuable resources, such as money and time, that can be used to grow other parts of the business. If you are a retailer, supplier, or logistics provider, you should consider using EDI because of the efficiencies and cost savings associated with it. It will streamline your communication with trading partners, give you the ability to add dropship partners quickly, and lower your vendor scorecards. Today, many large corporations have begun to mandate EDI as the only way to communicate orders. But in the future, and even today, more and more mid-sized businesses will begin using it because of the cost savings associated with it.
So we're talking about integration. Magento, many of you are already using the platform, realizing some sales on a daily basis, and you may or may not have a level of automation on the back end with order management. At the end of the day, through a successful integration, we're looking to eliminate data entry, import, export of files. You want to make sure that you have a level of automation so you can focus on other areas growing your business. If you think about it, if you're doing just an hour a day of data entry, how that'll add up during the course of the year. That turns into many hours, and I think it works to be about 31 business days by the end of the year. And think about what you would do if you had that time back. When choosing to implement an EDI solution, make sure that you choose one that leverages the Magento API. You don't want to have anything installed in your Magento server or extensions that will ultimately become taxing on the resources. Magento does require a fair amount of processing power, and you don't want anything to slow that down. So if we're, for example, receiving inventory updates from M.O.M, you want to make sure that all of that happens outside of Magento and a nice clean file is published to Magento.
Logicbroker can integrate Magento directly to Data.com by using its robust API. If you're a Magento merchant, a Logicbroker to M.O.M integration can eliminate the headache of manually uploading or rekeying order information to M.O.M. Logicbroker can also help automate the process of updating tracking information, inventory, and pricing from Data.com to shopping carts, helping you eliminate lost sales and increasing customer satisfaction. By integrating with Data.com, it will also allow you to automate the process of sending back ASNs, or Advanced Shipment Notices, or EDI 856s, purchase order acknowledgments, or EDI 855s, invoices, which are EDI 810s, and GS1 128, or UCC 128 barcode labels.
So here's just a typical example of how we pull information through our cloud-based product, Logicbroker, from Magento and ultimately get it into M.O.M. So you do a great job as a merchant with SEO and your pay-per-click, your AdWords, and you realize a sale on your Magento site. We automatically take that order through the Magento API, pull, translate, and sync that sales order directly into M.O.M. So at that point, you can do your pick, pack, and ship. Item goes out, tracking information, and we'll jump into this as part of our demo. Will actually automatically get populated back up to Magento, and that triggers out your shipping notification to your customer. So it's a very automated process. If you're doing 2 or 3 orders a day, you know what the process is around import, export, and rekeying into different systems. If you're doing 10 to 20 or 100 to 200, you combine that up with what that takes in the portion of your day or how taxing that is on your resources. Where with a seamless integration that Logicbroker provides with M.O.M and Magento, all of that goes away. So you can focus on other areas of your business.
There are numerous benefits to integrating your Magento store and M.O.M. Today, we will focus on the elimination of manual data entry, processing more orders in less time, dropship automation, and connecting with suppliers and internal systems. Because you are fully integrated, the need to manually enter order data has been eliminated, and your resources are free to focus on growing your business. An end-to-end integration with Logicbroker can also help lower costs because it shortens the sales cycle and reduces human error. Since orders are processed in real time without manual processes, an EDI solution enables you to send, receive, and fulfill more orders in a shorter time span. It can also increase customer satisfaction because they can quickly track and receive their orders.
Overview of some of the benefits around Dropship, specifically in the e-commerce ecosystem. You may be selling products of your own warehouse and doing a great job of moving those products. But there may be complementary products or maybe accessories. Maybe you want to extend your product line, but you're not sure that you want to commit to allocating that inventory and pulling the trigger, and you may have space constraints, etc. So through a Dropship model and through effectively automating your Dropship cycle, we can bring in feeds from your suppliers, and as orders are placed on Magento, we create those orders in M.O.M and can automatically route purchase orders out to your suppliers. At that point, they pick, pack, and ship and send information back through EDI, back to Logicbroker, and ultimately into M.O.M, which keeps a seamless connection with Magento. So some of the benefits around automated Dropship process is you're going to eliminate the manual touches. Traditionally, you're either faxing orders over to your supplier or creating email PDFs and sending those orders. That all goes away with an effective automation. You're going to eliminate out of stock. So if somebody comes to your Magento store, they really want widget A, but you're out of stock. That's a lost sale, and you may never get that customer back. So with an endless aisle of suppliers and inventory, that will not happen. And you can easily add drop shippers to your mix without having to double your warehouse space or add third-party logistics. So keeping in theme with the endless aisle, automating your dropship process is the perfect solution to eliminate those risks, such as back ordering that Mark had mentioned earlier. Choosing to use an EDI provider and an integration hub will automate this process. By integrating directly with trading partners, EDI documents can flow effortlessly. Because EDI eliminates the need for data entry, the risk of human errors from rekeying are also eliminated. We can receive real-time inventory levels from your suppliers. That's an EDI document 846. We can receive real-time pricing information from suppliers. That's an EDI 832.
Using EDI and integrating your Magento platform allows you to connect to your suppliers. Orders are fulfilled by your suppliers, and your accounting system can be updated automatically. Once you are integrated with a particular supplier, they can send you their product catalogs electronically. The catalog can be maintained in your end-to-end EDI provider with price markup specified and uploaded to Magento. So if your business would like to start carrying a new product line, the product details can be uploaded to your Magento shopping cart automatically. And when a vendor's pricing changes, the customer prices can be updated automatically based on the defined margins. So your Magento platform is kept totally up to date without any manual intervention.
So I guess to summarize, and I know, Mark, you and I have talked over the years, whether it be out at Internet Retailer or some of the leading events, Imagine, for example, about the role of the customer experience, the merchant experience, the supplier experience, and trying to keep that harmonized to effectively create frictionless commerce throughout this order procurement process. Many of the attendees may be familiar with the Magento domain and what's involved there. Maybe not so familiar with the back end. We said before, oftentimes that does get neglected. But that all of the merchants may have some experience with the pain points, if you will, of import, export, data entry, a lot of copy and paste and email, where all of that can be effectively eliminated through a proper integration by leveraging M.O.M, Magento as one seamless system.
Yeah, that's correct. We often find that a lot of the merchants spend a great deal of time and money building great websites, but the back end, as you mentioned, George, does get neglected. And working together with the Logicbroker connection, that's where we could help a lot of these prospects and clients do a seamless integration. So what we'd like to do now is do a walkthrough, kind of a live demo, and show you how that works and how that flows.
Great, thanks, Mark. And so what we have here up on the screen is our demo environment. This happens to be built on Magento Enterprise, and we've created a merchant. It's called GoTech Online. So now Rebecca is going to walk through a process of placing an order, and we're actually going to show that order flowing directly to M.O.M. So as a merchant, you'll see what it looks like on the front end for customer experience, and also on the back end as that order goes into M.O.M. Now there are many steps throughout the process that we're going to show today to show you the full life cycle. In a real-world example, all of those steps can be automated, and that's where we'll turn it over to Joe to show you some of the batching logic. So as you start to create velocity with your online store, how you can take 50, 500 orders at once, and with a couple clicks, everything is processed. Great. So Rebecca's going to place an order. She's looking at some stylish headphones, I see. So we'll go through the normal checkout process. User experience is completely customizable from your perspective, how you have everything configured, your checkout process, your credit card authorization. All of that is unaffected by a typical integration. So you can focus on your SEO, your color schemes, bringing in new products, testing different products, different promotional codes, different campaigns that you may have at play. So as Rebecca goes through the checkout process, we placed one with a credit card. What's happening under the hood now is Logicbroker is polling Magento through the Magento API, looking for a change in status of orders. So in this case, if you'll notice on the screen, we have a status of processing. So Logicbroker knows that that order does exist, and it's waiting for an authorization. In this case, maybe it's authorize.net to authorize the credit card. Once the credit card is authorized, Logicbroker automatically pulls that order through our cloud-based integration hub, calls DataComp M.O.M through the M.O.M API, and creates that sales order and puts that into M.O.M without the merchant having to touch it. So it's a real nice option, especially if you have multiple line items per order. Think about how much time is spent on those import-export, those copy and paste to get that information into your order management or your current shipping system. So if we refresh this order, we're processing. We pull the information through a one-time mapping with your system. We map according to your Magento fields with your corresponding DataComp M.O.M fields. Sales order information, customer information, account number, all of that through a mapping process is done through our multi-tenant cloud-based platform to get information electronically into M.O.M. So in this case, we've noticed we've changed a status to sent to vendor. In a real-world scenario, we would change the status to something more user-friendly. But for a demo, that means Logicbroker has grabbed the order and successfully sourced that order to M.O.M. So now what Rebecca is going to do is log into your order management system, M.O.M, to show you what that order looks like. So here we have the M.O.M interface. Rebecca is going to go through a normal process. We're going to include all of our orders and walk through. Again, all of these steps, and Joe will show you how these can be automated completely. But we'll have a few clicks here. We go through the item. We find our item. We're going to mark it as shipped. In this case, we're going to actually enter in the tracking information manually. Real world, you probably have it integrated with UPS, FedEx, or other to pull that information automatically. But ultimately, when we have it marked as shipped, that information is going to go back up to Logicbroker, translated, and published all the way back up to your Magento store to trigger that shipping notification out to your customer with the appropriate tracking information. So there's no more, did my order ship? When will my order ship? There might be a day gap by the time you get to the tracking information and get all that appended into Magento. This happens automatically, and we change that status in Magento real time, so you don't have to worry about logging in, appending the order. And if your customer logs in, they'll see that information also in real time. So it's a real powerful end-to-end solution. If we log back into Magento at this point, and we check the status of the order, ultimately that will be marked as complete, which means that that email has been sent out to the customer. If we log into the back end of Magento Enterprise and look at that order, we see a list of orders. We can view that particular order. Rebecca can highlight these shipping notifications. This, you have a process, and your CSRs have visibility to the process and the order status. So now what we'd like to do is roll it over to Joe and kind of go through a real-world example of some of the functionality of M.O.M. And go ahead, Joe. Take it away.
All right. Thank you. Yeah, the nice thing about M.O.M is that there's a number of different areas that you can manage customers, stock items, orders, and I know the way that George processed his order was just going through a neat little list status appending, just for the demo purpose to show the statuses and include all the different available statuses, just to show you that we keep track of pretty much everything, quotes, orders on hold, if it's packed, if it's ready to ship, if it's in the pick stage. So as you can see, I have the order here saved, the one that they actually processed, that headphone set that I might want to review. Customer phones in, hey, can you tell me anything about that particular line item? I could see an image of it. I could see all the details, the features of it. So one of the cool things about having M.O.M is that not only will it keep track of the customer's data, but it'll also manage the order and inventory information. So while I'm in this particular order, I can go and view the customer. I can view the different sales information if I have a sales rep associated with it. One of the cool things that we do, hitting the magic F2 button on our keyboard, you can keep track maybe of different source keys. How did you hear about us? Maybe it was a trade show that the customer might have placed their order and they're referencing. Could have been a particular website. Here we'll just say Met Joe. And another thing that's pretty neat is you can also keep track of like the different web channel. So I didn't create one for the Magento store. I'll just create Web 1, Web 2, Web 3. But the point of this is that for reporting purposes, we'll be able to see which channel is actually generating more revenue. And to take it even further, of course we can run profit by product reports, so I can see how much money within a certain time frame that this Beat Solo wireless headphones brought in. But I'll also be able to see of which channel generated the most profit for us. And then take it a step even further and see which source key. Did it meet Joe in person? Was it a trade show? Was it an email marketing campaign? So there's a lot of neat things that you can do in regards to the analysis of individual orders so that you can see which channel works better, which email campaign works better, or which search engine optimized keywords are working better, and which search engines for that matter. There's a number of different instructions. A lot of our customers typically like to have notes for their employees. This would be internal only. And what you would be able to do, maybe there's some type of payment plan that you want to associate with the order. You don't necessarily want that detail to show up on an invoice. Over here we have an area where certain instructions will display on box labels. So for the UPS or FedEx man, maybe you want to say, hey, it's okay to deliver to my neighbor if I'm not home, or if it's raining, please deliver to the side door and leave it under the awning. As we kind of showed that there are more info buttons here to see additional stock information without having to leave the order. You just simply click once, and then it shows you the detail about that particular item. If there was any multiple warehouses, you can select a pick location. As far as the packaging, we already covered. When George processed that order, you can see that it shipped out. And then, of course, the order total shows how much it was, what the shipping was, the shipping method, and then here it was, it came in as paid by the Magento channel. So we'll just save that real quick. That's an order. As a customer, here we'll go to the home screen, a phone order may come in, customer may call in looking for some order status. So you can click on the little face icon, and any of these white fields that you see, you can search and get a customer or get into the customer record. So sure, I can look up by the last order number. That might be what they know. Maybe they just say, hey, my name is Joe Fantozzi. I don't even have to put the whole name in. Just put a couple letters in, and then it finds the customer record. Now, once inside the customer record, M.O.M keeps track of pretty much everything. So if the customer happens to be a wholesaler, you can see we have a customer type code that's representative of W. In my scenario, again, I'll hit F2, and it shows me wholesaler. These are user definable. So maybe you have different groups. If you happen to sell sporting equipment, maybe you want to have 1C for coaches. Maybe you sell to nonprofits and you want to give them a special discounted rate. You can have one that's type code 2NP, for instance. But I happen to deal with a lot of international customers. So one thing that really helps me out is there's a best time to call feature. So if I know that a customer says, you know, I'm always in the office around 10, 10:30, I can select the specific time zone. And especially for my New Zealand and Australian customers, it'll automatically convert what time I should call them based on my settings when I configure my M.O.M system. So we can keep track of that. Another thing is we can keep track of the entire order history. It shows the different statuses, all merchandise shipped, ready to invoice, ready to pack, and it's all interactive. I can just double click on one of these and I can see what the order details were, how the customer paid. So if the customer phones in and says, oh, you know, I ordered this particular, you know, whatever, can you tell me where it is? I can simply highlight the packaging tab as a customer service rep and see that it's split up into two different boxes. And click Track Package. One click will bring me out to UPS or FedEx or the post office website. Now, I'm not really shipping these toys, so that's why this is a demo tracking number. But had that been a real tracking number, it would have showed me exactly if it was in a certain geographic location or out for delivery. So it covers all the customer service side of things. Another neat thing is many of our customers will allow invoicing. So if you wanted to record a payment, the customer mailed in a check, you can simply record a payment right here. Another thing that people do is they want to keep track of the gross dollar spent or maybe the gross profit. In this day and age, many people want to go green, so they want to send, instead of physical printed invoices, they might want to go email only and go paperless. So you can set that up, and then M.O.M will automatically convert that particular invoice to a PDF as opposed to a Word or an HTML document. So these are some of the neat things you could do. You can also see, if you wanted to, there's a neat feature in M.O.M that allows for points and rewards. So it's a neat loyalty program. As customers spend X amount of dollars, they'll accrue so many points or buy certain products. There's a different area where I can show you how to set that up. In the demographics, this is of all the fields, we already know the customer's name and address, what they bought, how we shipped it, during what time frame, but maybe there's something unique that you want to know. So here, if I open up my demographic page, I might want to know what's your favorite video, what's your favorite cuisine, what's your anniversary month, and this is useful for a lot of different industries because we have companies that use M.O.M that sell, let's say, cookies. And they might want to know, are you allergic to peanuts? And that way, when you do an email marketing campaign, you can say, show me a list of all customers, but exclude people that have a peanut allergy. So that way, when your new chocolate chip peanut butter cookie comes out, you're not emailing them, hey, taste this. The reason for that is, number one, it's insulting to them, and then also they're more than likely never going to buy from you again. So what you can do is target groups of customers based on their specific demographic information. So let's say you sell sporting equipment, and you might want to, you have 100 or 1,000 autographed Derek Jeter baseballs. let's say, show me a list of everyone whose favorite athlete is Derek Jeter or whose favorite team is the New York Yankees, instead of excluding everybody from Massachusetts, assuming that they're Red Sox fans. And then as you can see, you can attach images. There's a number of different areas that you can create a number of different pages, and it's great, especially for husbands who happen to forget their anniversary. So there's a feature we have called Club Membership that our wine, our cheese, our gift basket companies use, and it's basically an of-the-month program. You can sell books. You can have a Book of the Month club, Wine of the Month club. So maybe I sell flowers, and the husband phones in and says, I want to ship a new bouquet of flowers to my wife at her office every month, but I don't want to have to remember to call you every month. So what I can do is phone in, and then you can create an order that will auto-print a pick ticket, packing slip, box label. You can charge my card for each order. You could charge my card up front for the entire year. So it's up to you. And now he looks like a superstar, and all the women at the office are jealous. So it's a pretty cool way to keep people happy. And again, those customers will come back. Whether it's an anniversary gift, if it's a Mother's Day gift, you can target customers based on that type of information. So you have that type of control. On the contacts and addresses, there's a number of different gift recipients, maybe different ship-tos. Maybe you happen to have a customer that here, we're based in New Jersey. We get a lot of customers that will live in Florida for the winter season, which is coming up upon us. So you could set date restrictions. So even if they were a member of our club membership plan, you might want to know that, hey, once October 1st comes, they're no longer in New Jersey. They're down in Florida at their summer house or their winter house. So the system will automatically create a pick ticket, packing slip, and box label, and it'll fire it off and let the customer who's now in Florida receive that package. Another neat thing that we keep track of is contact management. So some of our customers have told us that they'll use something like ACT or some other program that keeps track of the customer's correspondence, whether it's emails or a phone conversation that you might have. Now that's great, but what happens if I am on vacation and the customer had sent me information about an order or details about a request that they have, and I only know that in my saved personal folder on my desktop? Well, you use M.O.M now, so you can keep track of pretty much anything. You can call, you can schedule follow-up calls. This integrates with your Microsoft Outlook, so you can complete calls here. You'll be able to schedule, and you'll see that it shows the best time to call. And that way it utilizes the calendar on another Outlook program many of us use. And whether you want to follow up a call and log an email in or outbound, you can keep track of it. You'll notice there's a lot of notices that get sent out. M.O.M also sends your shipping confirmation notices or maybe even other marketing notices. Certainly you can use Constant Contact or some other email marketing program. As a customer service rep, you might want to see trends for a certain time frame on an individual customer. So here you can see a nice chart, a graph of the sales based on a certain customer's history. And also the most popular products that this particular customer orders, or even the order type, the channel, what are the most common channels. Now here none means that those customers' orders weren't linked to a particular channel. Maybe the customer service rep didn't link it to a web order or a phone order or a retail store order, so we can handle that. Now that we have all the customer and order details, let's take a look at the stock item information. So being that we were working on that headphone set, if I look up a customer or a stock item rather, I have my stock item called Beats, and I look at it here, and there's a number of different tabs across the top. Each tab is representative of something specific that has to do with the item. Some items are, like a lot of our customers, they'll do inventory and it's serialized. Some of our customers will sell gift cards, not only just physical gift cards with their company name and imprinted with their logo on it. They may want to do an e-gift card. So you can set items up like that. We have companies that sell automotive parts. And one of the things that they'll do is they'll have like a shop or an area where the guys in the back will actually do or bill out based on number of hours, for instance. So we can set items up that are considered service. So it's not only web orders and simple stock items that Magento has. Maybe items have size color variations. If you do happen to sell automotive equipment, that nitrous oxide tank cannot ship UPS overnight. So it's smart enough to acknowledge, hey, this order might have 4 items on it, 3 can go overnight, but one of them is required to go UPS ground. Another thing that I like is that you can create upsell, cross-sell, or substitute items. And something like that would be like, hey, since you're buying the headphones, I think you might also like to buy the MP3 player. Or, you know, if you're buying a BlackBerry, I think you might also like to buy the BlackBerry charger. So you can create upsells or cross-sells, or, hey, I don't happen to have these headphones in stock, so as a substitute, I might think you would like the XYZ product widget or whatever. We also have a lot of customers that ship large items. So, for instance, one of our sporting goods companies sells professional-sized soccer nets, and the net itself comes in 4 different boxes. So you can say this item packs in 4 boxes, and then what will happen is Mom, when you process that order, will print out 4 box labels, 1 of 4, 2 of 4, 3 of 4, and 4 of 4. So as you process more and more orders, let the system do that work for you. Now, the inventory we have keeps track of a number of different areas or statuses, if you will, of the order. So here I have 98 available in stock. 2 of them are committed, but even though I have 100 on the shelf, what that means is that I might have 2 on other orders that have not been picked yet. So it keeps track of those statuses. Even though that there's still 100, there's really 98 available for sale. Maybe you want to have a certain number available on eBay so that you reserve some and they don't get oversold. So you can do that. You can create different suppliers. Here, we'll just save this, and I'm going to go into my BlackBerry item just to show you something else, where maybe you have multiple suppliers for a specific item. And here, like I have Acme, supplier 001, and the description here represents the supplier SKU. So even though my stock number is BlackBerry, they might call it BB123 whatever, and then NYGOT for, you know, maybe it was like 2x4s, and I saw Home Depot, Ace is the Place, and Lowe's. They each have a different unit cost, and then it makes it easier for me to reorder my inventory by the best price. If we have pricing, you have a normal retail selling price, but maybe you want to create special situation prices. So as a Magento user, you're familiar with some of these, where you can create buy 5 you get this price, buy 10 you get this price, and that's really useful, especially when you sell, let's say, clothing. So I don't want to have to buy 5 small pink T-shirts. I might want 1 small pink for my daughter. I might want a medium blue for my son, a large black for myself, and maybe a medium red for my wife. Well, you can create special situation price levels and tie it to groups of items, mix and match codes, so that as long as they all have the same price qualifiers, they'll each get that special situation price when they're put together. So on the Beats, you saw the headphones image here and the description. So this is the location where I would store the description and image for an item. This is useful, again, for phone orders. If a customer has a question or they call in, they don't want to enter in their credit card info on the web store, they might want to know, hey, you know, does this particular BlackBerry have the trackball? I don't really like to use the trackball. I want a touchscreen. So if you tell the customer, hang on, let me go look out in the warehouse, more than likely by the time you come back they hung up and you lost that sale. So using M.O.M gives you that extra level of customer service where they can view that detail instantly with a single click. Mentioned the club membership plans. I don't have a BlackBerry of the Month Club, but sometimes you have like dietary supplements. I don't need to necessarily ship you 12 bottles today. I want 1 to go out each month. There's a number of different ways you can do this. Cheese, you can have a 6-month plan, a 1 year plan, or it could go on indefinitely. So you have an unlimited number of these that you can enable, which is great. Again, Wine of the Month Club, Cheese of the Month Club. This is the area where you would also establish how many points that it might require a customer to spend in order to buy a particular product if you enable the loyalty program. The site link is basically an e-commerce platform where you can store your web information and link it to your Magento store. So these fields are available for you for, like, let's say your search engine optimization. If you have poor search engine optimization, you can store this meta keywords in M.O.M. Your descriptions, your images, and then of course your Google base, which is Google's online product shopping search engine. So a lot of people have Google Analytics accounts already. What they're probably recognizing now is when you go to Google Shopping, you can see, put in a keyword, let's say spears. If you're on the normal Google search engine, you'll probably see a number of pages where Britney Spears was hanging out at. Well, if I want to hang a spear up on my wall, I can put the brand, the keyword, the availability. If an item is gender specific or designed for children or adults, and then a nice description here, you'll be able to utilize this and populate that up on Google Shopping. eBay integration is all set up within M.O.M. So all the data shared with the same back end. And then, of course, there's other sales statistics and graphs that you can use. So pretty much all the data is in one place. Publishing and sending the data over to your accounting package, whether it's QuickBooks or Peachtree or any of the other ones, you store pretty much everything in M.O.M. The reports are pretty much endless. The system does have a back end that's open, and you can use reporting tools. There's custom reports you can run. I already mentioned earlier your profit by product or profit by product by source, and it shows you pretty much all the data. So whether it's order status, tracking of orders, phone orders, web, email, Amazon, the M.O.M system will manage all of that, and especially with your Magento orders, because now the customer can log into the Magento store and view the order status and tracking information. So there's a lot of other areas that we can cover on a demo one-on-one, but with the limited time, I guess we can turn it over and go through some questions that have popped up. I see there's a number of them. So I'll hand it over to Mike.
All right, great. Hey, thanks, Joe. Great job. We do have a question coming in. It looks like this one would be for Logicbroker. The first question I see here, it says, we're heavily customized on Magento store. Will this still work? So I'll turn that over to George.
So the answer is yes. So through the integration, we do leverage both the M.O.M as well as the Magento API. There are a few statuses within Magento that we need to agree upon, that when we source the order, the authorized, for example, and once we bring the tracking information back from M.O.M up to Magento, the completed or the shipped status. But once we come upon an agreement upon those agreed statuses, everything else can be customized. You can have as many storefronts as you wish. One of the benefits of having Magento is that you do have the multi-storefront capability. And provided you have the single back end, through that one-time integration, everything is covered.
Thanks, George. Next question, looks like it could be for you, Joe, is M.O.M PCI Compliance?
Yes, that's very important. Hopefully many of you are aware of the Payment Card Industry Security Standards Council's the current regulations. M.O.M is 100% PCI compliant. We're proud of our certification that is also posted on PCI securitystandards.org's site. We're listed there as an order management system. We have the latest military-grade encryption. So as phone orders might come in, you enter the credit card data, you'll be able to be assured that there won't be any issues in regards to breaches in regards to M.O.M. So yes, we do have 100% PCI compliance, and you won't have to worry about that on the M.O.M order processing side.
Thanks, Joe. It looks like the next question we have is kind of two questions in one. I think this would be for you, George, do I need to install anything on my Magento server, and is the integration real time?
So the integration is configurable. So we can do it in as close to real time as the merchant wishes. Alternatively, we have customers that would prefer to batch and do on a scheduled basis, maybe pulling the orders a couple times a day, depending what their warehouse flow looks like. So that is scheduled and configurable, and nothing needs to be installed on the Magento server.
Great. Thanks, George. Next question, looks like for you, Joe. I want to keep my data in-house. Is M.O.M an internal solution?
Yeah, we have a number of customers prefer to have M.O.M installed locally where they can, run custom reports. They're not restricted by the, internet access. However, there's a number of customers that prefer to have everything hosted for them. In those scenarios, many of them have linked up with like a Rackspace, or which is based out of Texas, or aplus.net out of San Diego, Southern California, and they've turned M.O.M into a SaaS, in essence, solution. But yeah, most of our customers do prefer to have the data internally so that they can run additional analytics and process the orders one way or the other, with or without internet connection. So it'll work either way. We actually have a number of customers doing it both ways.
Thanks, Joe. Next question, looks like it's an EDI question, George. You referred to using EDI to purchase additional inventory. Does EDI integrate as a method of wholesale sales? We have a wholesale client who purchased from us using EDI. Would we be able to process their POs into Magento invoices using the integration?
So I'd have to walk through that workflow in a little more detail, Mark, but that sounds definitely something that could be done. So we would purchase orders are EDI 850, inventory 846, invoices are 810. So with your wholesale and B2B arrangement, all of that information can be exchanged through Magento as well as M.O.M, in most cases with little to no or intervention from the user side.
Okay, great, George. So there's additional follow-up there. We'll make sure that we'll get you that contact information to reach out and gather that additional information. Next question I have here is, I understand that M.O.M will handle subscriptions such as for newsletters. Can you elaborate?
Sure. In the past, we've had, being that M.O.M was originally designed for catalogers, many of our customers shipped multiple catalogs throughout the year. There is a module, a feature that we have where it's built in that's called subscription management. Now that's a little different than the club membership feature that I was talking about. If you wanted to physically send out, like we have a number of customers that sell magazines, let's say Sports Illustrated. They want to ship their magazines out every month, and you want to know how many issues are remaining. Then the subscription management is great. You can print your physical label out, and it'll send it out, and you can run your reports and see what the customers do, when it's time to renew. As far as sending newsletters, yeah, you can create a club membership plan. Basically, what I didn't get to show you is there is an option where you can create even a stock item that's a service item, and you can attach a specific notice that goes out when that particular item, whether it's a physical item or a service item, is processed. So if you wanted to, you technically can use M.O.M to send out your email subscriptions, your email notifications. And let's say it's just a marketing blast or something like that. Create a club membership plan every week, every 2 weeks or whatever, and then just have a service item that's called email 1, email 2, email 3, whatever, and have a little description associated with it. And when you process that club plan, M.O.M will fire off an email that will go out to your customers, and it's beautiful. There's a nice HTML editor built into M.O.M, so you can kind of customize the look and feel of the way your notice looks. Or you can just export the names and first name, the email addresses and first name of the customers, and then export that into like a spreadsheet and then use the Constant Contact or another email marketing program. But yeah, I'll be glad to show you how to enable M.O.M's feature to automate the subscriptions and sending email notifications.
Thanks, Joe. We have time for a couple more. George, this one is looks like it's for you. What versions of Magento does the M.O.M work with, and does the integration support multiple storefronts?
Yep, so it definitely does support multiple storefronts, and we would require M.O.M version 8 SQL backend. And in terms of Magento, we work with Community, Go, as well as Enterprise. On the community front, we are, I think it's 1.15 or 1.5, and we're fairly current on the Enterprise version as well. And Go is the hosted version, so we're good there.
Great, thanks, George. And one last question, Joe. I want to keep my data in-house. Is M.O.M an internal solution?
Yeah, the back end of M.O.M is in a SQL environment, so we have our larger customers that use the Premium Edition, which is a full Microsoft SQL Server environment. For the smaller customers that do tens to a couple hundred orders per day or per month, Microsoft has a free SQL Server Express download. We can set M.O.M up to link to that version, and as your business grows, we can evolve, and whether it's a few years or whatever, you can grow into the full premium. But the back end is SQL, whether it's Express or Enterprise, and then you can, of course, either house it internally, or if you prefer, you can have it hosted at a data center. So there's a number of our customers that do it both ways.
Thanks, Joe. That's all the time we have today. I want to thank Joe and George and Kaylin for joining us today for this presentation. We will make the presentation available to everyone who attended the webinar, and we will reach out to everyone. There were several questions we didn't get to. We'll make sure we reach out to you, as well as all the follow-up that we need to do on this. So once again, thanks for joining. We appreciate your time and look forward to working with each of you.